Why should we not allow same-sex marriage?
Well, I think one, again, our Maryland Marriage Alliance is really the organization that says Maryland's law, Family Code 2-201, currently states that marriage is defined between a man and a woman. We didn't put that into legislation. We didn't put that in the law. Maryland did. And we just feel like it's been fundamental to societies. Marriage is more than about just what any two adults want, but it really is about the future and the next generation, the kids. What's the best opportunity for those kids to be raised with a mom and a dad, if at all possible. We also believe fundamentally that, we can love our gay and lesbian family, friends, colleagues, and everybody else, because we all have them in our families perhaps. But at the same time, we don't have to fundamentally redefine marriage as we know it. So there's a lot of ways we can do things that I think that could be afforded that doesn't necessarily say you need to redefine marriage.
But the word marriage has a lot of weight.
It does.
And part of the issue for same-sex couples is that there are certain things that I'm not allowed to do that a opposite-sex couple is allowed to do here. So the thing is that I can't get wills, the questions of whether or not to pass on money during the years, possession of children after a spouse dies or a divorce. So there's a lot of that. This is one of their issues, saying that we're not allowed to do this because in Maryland, if you are married, you can do this.
Well, I think the answer to that really is, it's a couple of different folds. One, in this most recent legislative session, and even before, but in the most recent, civil unions were offered, and the ability to give any kind of rights or benefits that are not afforded to same-sex couples today, they were offered on the table, and they were said, no, we don't want that. We want the word marriage. The other side is Maryland already has very aggressive domestic partnership laws, which include same-sex couples, meaning many rights and benefits are already afforded to them. So you're talking about inheritance tax issues, they don't have that. There's a lot of different laws. As a matter of fact, I've had a lot of consult with different attorneys, which says that, dealing with the will issue, yeah, we all need to have wills, heterosexuals, anybody else, and even, family members. The grandma might be raising, the daughter or some grandkids, and so they need to have some kind of will arrangements in place too, so that they can be afforded to, and their state can be, taken care of at the end of the day. I think, though, for many of them, as far as rights and benefits, many rights and benefits are already according to Maryland state law. There are just a plethora of them, and I think when you look at 2007, 2008, 2009, the laws in the legislature has been consistently what rights are not afforded, what are things that are there that are not there, and then they gave them, and it has been passed and voted on in the state legislature.
Are a lot of the religions, a lot of the reasons why this are basically religious, though, that there is because like I said, a lot of religions, mainstream or way out there, do not sanction same-sex couples being married.
Yeah. Well, there's no question that marriage is a lot of deeply held faith beliefs on what marriage is about. No question about it. And you're right, the large majority of the population from the religious community is absolutely in favor that marriage be defined between one man and one woman. That's been fundamental. I think, though, the other thing that we can't not look at this is that, one, 32 times where this has gone before the vote of people, 32 times the popular vote has won. That doesn't necessarily say only religious people voted on this issue.
Right.
No, this is Democrats, Republicans, Independents, Green Party, Libertarians. This is a wide array of people. This is blacks, whites, Hispanics, Latino, Asians as well around our country have voted on this issue. So you're saying millions of people have engaged on it, thinking people that are engaged citizens, and said, there's a fundamental reason why marriage is unique, it's special, it's valuable. It really predates government. Mm-hmm. It is one of those institutions that has served society very well. It's one of those things that you say, well, you know what, marriage has been around for quite some time. Should we really be redefining it right now is a question. And it's interesting because I get the flip side of the question often now. Why do you want to stand against it? Hold up, Maryland law already says it's in law, and it says it in countless other places. And I think what we're looking at is saying, hold on, let's think about this. Are there real ramifications to this issue? It's not going to affect my marriage tomorrow, but I'm looking at it from, it has served society very well. And marriage, I think, far more beyond just the religious belief alone, that we can look at fundamentally, yeah, it gives kids the best opportunity to be raised with a mom and dad. It does reproduce our society. It helps us continue on. So there's some, I call it baseline beliefs on it that are just fundamental and true.
But then there's the discussion, too, about equal protection under the law. But you're saying that there's laws already there.
Laws are already there. Quite a few laws are already there. Now, granted, I think, from my understanding, Defense of Marriage Act, of course, that's been debated quite a bit. We know the recent New York decision. But I think at the same time, many laws are already there. And what the legislature has been responsibly trying to do is say, where are the separation points? What are the laws that are not in place today? And let's give those to. Let's give those to gay and lesbians. And again, we can love our gay and lesbian friends and colleagues, but we don't have to redefine marriage. And I think that's the heartbeat of this whole issue. When it was before the legislature at the beginning, they said, look, this is a vote of conscience. Let people just vote what they naturally think about the issue. Let these reasoned elected officials think about it. But that really wasn't the case. That went on. It was a much more pressured vote. And I think that was the thing that kind of stirred a lot of people and citizens around our country and around our state specifically, with over 162,000 petitions being turned in, that, hey, we need to be able to say something about this. This is a law that you're changing the fundamental definition. Don't we get a voice in that process?
Because marriage is personal.
Marriage is very personal. It absolutely, it is a very personal relationship. And hear me, there's already things within the law, and I get asked the question oftentimes, say, well, why are you trying to legislate, who can love who? And really, that's not the issue. Again, when you're dealing with equality and fairness and justice, we are people that are fair and try to institute equality and justice wherever we go. I think the thing is, though, when you look at it, there are already laws in place that, one, nobody's prohibited about who they can love. That's never a question. Right. Everybody can love whoever you want to love. I think the other side, though, beyond the love aspect, is saying, well, there are restrictions in the law today that said who cannot love each other. Meaning a grandfather can't marry his grandchild, or a father can't marry his daughter. And there's a lot of restrictions in there. And hear me, while most of us would say, hey, that makes sense, there are people out there in our culture today that says, I love them just as much as anybody else. Why can't I be married? And we have to ask the question, why can't you be married? Well, we said marriage is a fundamental definition between one man and one woman. It has served society well. This is the best place. A lot of times when you deal with those laws, we understand that kids are produced by moms and dads. And so there is something that's unique about it.